Hey everyone, this is Scott, Great Scott, I'm most formed them on. And here's one of my latest builds. It's a B-style trailer. Not a trucker, so I don't know why they call it B-style. I just know that this is the style of trailer where you have another trailer that is connected to it. And then up here is where your actual semi would go. This is basically a modified trailer. I bought this used and it was almost finished, and basically really all I did was just use some L channel and move these wheels back and then add in another set, and then put the hitch on there. So as you can see, this is what a normal trailer would look like, and aside from the wood, it's almost the same. Now, one thing about this is an Amazon trailer, which is about, I don't know, 75 bucks cheaper than the actual Tamiya trailer. And didn't know this when I bought it. And just looking at some of the quality on some of the parts, you can definitely tell that the quality is different on the Amazon trailer. The bolt hardware stripped really easy, and you can see I've got just about all replaced with just stainless hex hardware on there. So there is a difference in the trailers. Now I think the decking looks better. Performance wise, it works the same, so no loss in there. But yeah, there's definitely a difference in quality and materials. However, like I said, I got this as a part of a deal when I bought a Grand Hauler. And for this build, in addition to putting aluminum L channel back, printed the bumper, the servo mount. This also acts to stiffen it up. Now, one of the things I did have to do with this is these rails are inside the main rails of the trailer. So I had to make spacers on both sides to widen this out. Again, 3D printed. And then I also have lights worked up, and I have the hitch worked up. So real quick, remember which one this is. Yep. Okay, so these are the lights, and tail lights in the back, and then clearance lights going up. Fairly easy. They're just standard LEDs running at 6 volts. Now I've got the Tamiya motorized kit underneath here, so the whole thing can move. Okay, there she goes. So one of the things I figured out the hard way, because it kind of confused me when it wasn't working right. So when you buy the motorized kit, you get a different setup for the 5th wheel hitch. And that is on the Grand Hauler that I bought. And this is actually a stock hitch. Now the trick to this is you have to have some sort of a bypass here so that this guy can move forward. Without it, if this is hooked directly onto the servo, there's no spring-loaded bypass in here like there is with the kit motorized hitch. So basically your servo, either you have to move it manually, or you just put in a bypass. Now this was fairly easy. I just went with the normal ball end length, and I came it down here, and this is just I think it's 1/16 all thread. It's about 2mm all thread. Let's go with that. And then it's just a couple of parts off of not an E-Revo, but a standard Revo kit to allow this to move. So moves up when you need to, and then when the hitch is actuated, it allows it to slide past this. Not really rocket surgery, but for the most part, I call this guy done. I am thinking about designing and printing a wheel well that goes all over. Now, I've seen these B trailers that just have wheel wells in the back and this wheel not. I haven't really decided how I want it to look. For right now, I'm fine with it. It doesn't bother me that much. So for the electronics for this, I used a winch, dig, and light controller from HeyOK. Al makes extremely good products, and it's activated off of this remote. Flip this guy over here. Okay, so the electronics are actually up in here. I've got a BEC to drop the voltage. The servo was chattering with it at full battery voltage, and normally this is tucked in. So I put a BEC in there to drop that down to 6 volts and stop the chattering, which I like it better that way. But you can see I've got an E-tray right there. That's wired up to the motor. And come down. Not the prettiest wiring I've ever done, but it's not terrible. Again, this normally sits up in here in this E-tray. And just tucked in out of the way. So I also put, it's the same way, electronics the same way for this trailer too, except for this bypass switch. So what I can do, if something goes wrong with this, or if I lose this, you can't actuate the jacks without them, without having a remote or the electronics. Well, this is just a bypass switch that'll allow me to hook a battery up to it, put it in neutral, and then down is down, up is up. But right now, it's all hands-free. And this is the way I run all my trailers. That way, it's not proprietary, or it's not to my truck universe, and it's not proprietary to a single truck, because right now I've got 4 of them. That's my new Grand Hauler. A little different on top. It was just absolutely murder with what this thing was when I got it, and I don't think it's a terrible solution. Could look a little bit better, but it's not bad. And then there's my Brooder Mac. Right there is my original hauler. It's got a sound system, and then the Globetrotter. And I'm not thrilled with that one. I just don't like the way it looks or the way it drives. I might get rid of that one. The nice thing is, with 4 trucks, and I've got 6 trailers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, I got 6 trailers. Running it this way for the jacks and everything else, like I said, it's not proprietary to a particular truck, slave to a particular radio system. You just toss this to wherever. We were just at a kind of get together, a little comp a couple weeks ago, and a couple of guys came. They just had trucks without trailers, so it made it really convenient. So overall, this wasn't a bad conversion. One of the trickiest things was getting this third axle done, and I bought a Lasu suspension kit. Had to modify it, had to kick the bags actually way inboard so they would clear the L brackets down there. And it works pretty well. I had to space it out just a little bit to get everything so that all the wheels would run fine. And yeah, it works really well. So I am happy with it. So this is one of the things that when I talk about quality between Amazon. So if you look at that guy, I think right there's a good angle. That shock is not straight with the shock reservoir. and it moves. You don't get that with the Tamiya shocks. It works okay, so you know, I'm still fine with it. But again, it's for trailers, you can definitely tell the quality difference between the two. But so this again is my B trailer. I'd say from start to finish, waiting on parts, getting stuff. It took me about 2 months to get it, so that it's in a condition where I call it finished. Fairly happy with it. So if you got any comments, let me know. Any suggestions for improvements? I'm always open to improvements. No, I don't run with the Euro style stopper on the front. Just plain old American. So let me know if you have any comments or questions. Thank you for watching.